know at first glance you'd say he doesn't need any more Transformers, and you'd be wrong. I've got 1 new and 2 replacements to get on the toy shelf. Find out who and why on PopCon. Welcome back to PopCon, everybody. Thanks for coming to the show. I am Victor, your G1 host and adult collector. Like I said, I've got 3 more Transformers to open and get on the old toy shelf behind me. 1's a newbie and 2 are replacements. This is Blaster. I'm sure you've heard of him. He made a great cameo in the Chip and Dale Rescue Ranger movie. Well, simple cameo. It was just great to see him. Anyway, I've never owned this boombox. I've never had any incarnation of him, but I've already and always had Soundwave, the Decepticon tape deck, so I don't know why I don't have this boombox here. Who wouldn't want it? It's from the Transformers Legacy Collection, which is their new toy line, and it's only about in its 2nd wave, so thought I'd pick him up and open him up in just a moment. Now, this right here, well, this is Skids. I don't know. Can you see him? This is Skids. Skids is a subcompact minivan, or he should have been. Right now, oh dear, well, that was Skids. Now, I'm not replacing Skids because he's broken. Well, maybe a little bit. This Skids is from the Generations toy line, and Transformers Legacy has recently come out with the Skids car here, this action figure. This Skids is much more representative of the G1 cartoon accurate action figure that I want for my toy shelf. You guys know that. So I have to upgrade, so out with the old, in with the new. And finally, another upgrade is Perceptor. This is the Autobot scientifically serious microscope. Now, I already did have that action figure from the Titans Return toy line right here. Let's be serious. It's just a new term for the word Headmaster. Yes, his little head comes off, and it doesn't exactly look like Perceptor, and he was a Headmaster, but he wasn't in the original. So this Studio Series 86 version of Perceptor is awesome, turning into that microscope, just like the other one did, but much more cartoon accurate. They take their cues from the Transformers, the movie, the animated series. He's a little bit bigger, and he definitely looks great. We're going to get an up-close and personal look at him in just a minute. Let's get these guys open. Let's get it on. The Transformers Legacy boxes are very colorful, and there's a lot of talk about windowless boxes these days, but as you see, there is still an opening to see the action figure inside. The backs are loaded with photographs of the action figure in both modes, as well as how many steps it would take. And like so many new action figures these days, gorgeous artwork is represented on the sides, even on the front in both the robot mode and the vehicle mode. So they look stellar. Now, these boxes are shaped a little unique and funny, which I don't know how store shelves can handle it, but whatever, doesn't matter to me. What I love is the box has a lot of great incentive to buy, and these Legacy toys isn't something I even wanted at first. But now that I got a couple, I really do like them, and I got more on the way. Now, Studio Series 86, their box is a little bit different. It did have a plastic window, but I could still see Perceptor really well. Same thing applies in the back, where there is simply the how many steps and lots of photographs, and the artwork on it is unique as it is more flat, but no less detailed. So, and along with the Studio Series 86, there is the great Transformers the movie logo throughout that series. Now, Studio Series is unique. It's not simply about the Transformers the movie from 1986. It's about all Transformers brands. So that's a look at the great packaging. Let's move on. Transformers, as you know, are from Hasbro, and although a lot of Hasbro stuff is getting full boxes, these still have a little bit of a window to look into. I'm not going to wrestle this stuff, so I am just simply going to cut it open. All right, let's open it up. Inside, you get right away, of course, the instructions. You always need the Transformers instructions. How to do it is not always easy. Sometimes it's intuitive, not all the time. But anyway, so here he is coming. There he is. You can even see on the legs already. You can see those speakers for his boombox mode. He looks so cartoon accurate already. I love it. So inside you'll also find, oh my goodness, I forgot, it's eject. So eject is this little tape cassette counterpart that can go in there, and we'll get that open in just a minute. I want to take a quick look inside the box. He also, Blaster comes with his blaster. Oh, isn't that cute? All right, we'll get a better look and get him out of the box a little bit more in just a moment, but let's go ahead and just remove the others as well. So here is Skids. I don't know why I put my scissors away. That seems pretty stupid. But let's go ahead, open his box as well. take out his instructions right here. And, oh yeah, I destroy the box. I'm not one for keeping these kind of boxes. This is mass retail action figures. Oh, there we go. So he comes up. You know, pretty standard fare. He actually resembles those old Generation 1 not articulated action figures when you look at his legs. And as usual, Hasbro's covered it with all kinds of little plastic things to cut off. So in there as well, you can see that there's a couple of accessories being his weapons that will be mounted on him. And we'll get, again, we'll look closer at him and the rest in just a minute. And finally, there's Perceptor. So this is Studio Series. Like I said, I don't keep the boxes. These are meant to be displayed. And, you know, I don't play with them per se, but I will transform them off and on. Yeah, I'm sure there's some instructions in here somewhere. Oh, look at that. It's like digging down deep into a cereal box to find a prize. By the way, if you haven't seen my PopCon shows on cereal boxes and cereal box mascots, you should. Okay, pull him out here. There is Perceptor. He's got a little nice background image there behind him, and it is probably imagery from the film itself, the 1986 animated film. And as he's packaged, you can see the microscope lens piece of his robot mode, and he does have a little accessory in the bottom corner. So, you know, we've got them all out, but we need to look at them close. We need to compare them as well. I love to compare these guys, so you know what time it is. It's time for Carousel. I don't know why I'm surprised, but he looks like an 80s boombox, even with the dials, lots of them. So he's got some realism, including the handle at the top and the speakers. I love the look the color represents, and he even comes with his large blaster you would have seen in the cartoon. So a lot of great detail. What you notice on the back is he's very open. Yes, you can see where legs and arms might come out of, but of course you're not looking at him from the back that often. So really love this design. Lots of great detail here. Very surprised, and much simpler to transform than I thought. And of course, the eject works. You can eject and pull out, well, the character eject from his tape deck. So really gives that feeling of the old boombox, the old character we know and love. He's transformed, and here we have Blaster in his robot mode. Notice the shape of his finger on the right hand. That's to help eject. He looks good. You can see where things go on his transformation, so it makes sense. There's not a lot of extra kibble. So he was a really easy, fun, and made sense transformation, which I really, really loved. So once again, you can see that finger molded out a little bit, which I love, just the variation. It's not just a fist. So now you can take that hand, press the buttons underneath the tape deck itself, the eject, and boom, out comes the tape deck himself. This is eject, of course. I'm a little upset. He doesn't look like a tape. He doesn't have the reels like he did in the original, but we'll compare him a little bit later. But he's a cute little addition as one of Blaster's soldiers, one of 4 main ones that came out of Blaster. All right, we'll move on to Perceptor. All right, let's begin in his alt mode. Not really a vehicle mode, but it's the microscope and it's top notch. Little dial on the top there with the eyepiece. It does not telescope. It doesn't really, not a working microscope, folks, but it does work as Perceptor. I'm so happy with the color scheme, the transformation. Once again, Legacy as well as Studio Series really are hitting those marks. And there's his little pistol we see in the animated movie on occasion. So let's go ahead and get Perceptor into his robot mode. All right, so here he is looking good. Now, all of these characters have wonderful articulation in shoulders, in wrists, in ankles, and forearms, and he's got extra in the legs. But they also have the little tilt in the ankle, which is my favorite addition to new action figures. So you can see the treads that are built into the back of his legs. Yeah, that makes it look as if he could wheel around and traverse the terrain. So beautiful looking character. Love Perceptor. I'm really happy to have this version and replace the old. What can I say about Skids? His vehicle mode isn't very dynamic, and to be honest, the original Skids was a sub-compact car from Japan. We didn't really have that in America at the time, so it was just kind of animated as a minivan, but it's very small, very compact, and very square. His transformation is fairly simple, but it is also very inventive and looks very different from the other Autobot cars of the era. So it is nice that he is very original. Let's get him transformed into his robot mode and take a look. Right here, like I said earlier, he's really reminiscent of his original G1 and any G1 character. They're very stagnant, non-articulate, but these guys are articulate. He comes with 3 accessories, 2 that combine into the weapon you see here. But those windows on the doors and the top roof, very different than the other Transformers that transform similarly with their wings or their doors out. Here's the Energon weapon. I don't really care. That's an accessory. It's just kind of a gimmick that I don't give a crap about. So it'll be stored. What you see is what I wanted, and that's what I got. Hey everybody, Victor here again. Please, asking you to subscribe to PopCon, powered by Generation X. That's me. As an adult collector, I have a lot of fun adding to my ultimate collection behind me, and I'm glad you're along for the ride. But there's a lot of other content on PopCon that I hope you explore. A lot of flashbacks and retrospectives on the time period, the greatest generation, anywhere from 1976 to about 1993. Well, anyway, show me some love, click that like, and back to the show. Okay, this is my favorite part, the comparison, where I take these three new Transformer action figures, show off the evolution and where they came from. Let's start with Blaster. First, you see the G1 action figure in its box. This is the box art, themed really after the action figure itself. Next came the animation model and what we saw in the cartoon and the animated movie. So now we're looking at a brand new Blaster action figure and the G1 original that came out in the 80s. Obviously, you see the difference, and it's a lot of fun. Now, Blaster isn't the first tape deck. Soundwave, the Decepticon, was the first, and he had a lot of tape cassettes. We all loved having this mini cassette recorder, but the Autobots needed one as well, so Blaster came on with his own guys, like Eject and Rewind. This Transformers Blaster action figure comes with Eject. So here's Eject. Now, here is the artwork on his box when he first came. This is the animation model, and here he is in the animated series. The blue one, not the black one. That's Rewind, so this is Eject. Now, what you get when you're looking here, it's a little translucent. The original action figure next to you, what I miss is that there is nothing tape deck about him. Now, this is Perceptor, the scientist, and here's his box artwork. Then you get the animation model and some beautiful renderings of him from Transformers, the animated movie. Now, as a seriously scientific action figure, he was a great character and one in a million. And this was his original action figure with that faceplate and everything, which he doesn't have, and I love the look, very similar. Now, finally, Skids. Skids is an original G1 Autobot car. Now, he came out late in 1984, and he only appeared in 2 of the actual cartoons. We see the animation model here. We also see some shots from the cartoon, but now you see the original action figure with his mistransformed arms, which you can actually do with this Transformer as well. It's a little silly, so I fixed them up. But there's the kind of comparison from your Generation 1 to today, and let's get them on the toy shelf. Well, folks, here they are on the toy shelf with the others. There's Perceptor, along with, let's see, Blaster is there because he's tall. He's towards the back there with Optimus and Jetfire. And in the front is Skids with other deluxe characters. Well, now you've seen them up there on the toy shelf looking good. You know, there's only a handful more Transformers that I intend to get. Now, I'm not going to replace all this line, even if they went back and redid everybody to be exactly cartoon accurate, to be transformation accurate. No. I'm an adult collector, and no two of us are alike. I represent by something that, an action figure that looks like the one I remember, the one that best represents it. So I'm getting what I've got, and I'm getting just a couple more. I'm doing what I need to do, so I hope you'll like it. And also, as I mentioned before, I actually take these guys down every now and then. It's very cathartic to just transform a Transformer while you're doing some work or pondering a problem, and it's a little fun to go back and forth. Sometimes I just leave them in their car mode. Looking now, is there one in a car mode? There is over there, right there. So, yeah, sometimes I pull them down, transform them, put them back. Sometimes I dust them. Sometimes you gotta dust them. So do you? What do you do when you're an adult collector? What are your habits with your toys? Do you just leave them and don't touch them? I know a lot of you are in box. As you can tell, I'm out of box. And yeah, so I am trying my best to complete this collection of favorite franchises made famous in the 1980s, the greatest generation. I am your host, Victor. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. I'd really appreciate the help and hope you're having a great time. So until next time.